Good afternoon. It's Rebecca Thompson here, and if you don't know me already, it's interesting that you see this because you're probably following my page but maybe haven't seen me before. I'm Rebecca Thompson, and I work with women who are like me, right? Just living a practical life with a family, maybe a business, and want to do this in the highest possible way. I help women to do what they love without burning out, without constantly feeling hijacked by self-doubt, energy levels, money, other people's opinions, health issues, and letting life dramas and circumstance get in the way. Who have we got here with me this morning? Got Katerina. Hello, beautiful soul. Let me know, anyone else, if you're jumping on with me live here. And I wanted to come on this morning because many women, in fact probably all women that I work with, are going through a transition. Now, whether you call that midlife crisis or that point where something changes, it can be menopause, hello possum, it can be your kids grow up and leave home. Maybe you're coming to a life choice around being employed versus now stepping into your own business. Maybe your kids are growing up and going to school or leaving home. Whatever it is, when we get to those cruxes in our life, we can start to question everything. Who am I? What do I want to do with the rest of my life? How do I want to feel more fulfilled? How do I live on purpose? How do I create more abundance in my life? Now, I'm not a stranger to these feelings. I have gone from, as a child, asking those questions. I feel like I had a midlife crisis since I was pretty much born. And I looked around me as a young girl going, what is everyone doing? I don't understand this hamster wheel of life. I felt like that there should be more joy, more connection, more juice, right? I wanted life to be a musical. I would go to musicals literally and come home bereft, wishing that life was a musical, right? And feeling that somehow life was less than. Let me know if you get that. I've got some funny faces coming up and people are relating. Do you get that? When I share this at events, so many people put their hand up that you feel like life should be more than it is somehow. And so from a very early age, I spent a long time looking outside of myself. Definitely, Katerina, you're with me, right? I spent a lot of time outside of myself trying to find that piece of the puzzle that seemed to be missing in life. Do you relate? Yeah, who else relates? We've got a few more people watching now. Who relates to this thing of like feeling like, I don't know, you're somehow the square peg in a round hole? I was actually told that as a uni student, that somehow everyone else is getting something that you're not getting. So from this young age, I felt unfulfilled. I felt disconnected. I had a great upbringing, but I felt like there were so many things missing. It led me outside of myself to try and achieve more and more and more. And then I found that my effort wasn't being rewarded. So I had a little bit of that kind of, well, F that attitude. I started experimenting with drugs. I traveled. I tried so many different things, seeking outside of myself to fulfill myself. And then it took me down paths of, righteousness, of, wanting everyone to become permaculture enthusiasts and, yoga enthusiasts and all of that. What I found through my own pain and my own literally physical pain and my own unfulfillment was that there is nothing outside of us that can tick that box. There is nothing outside of us that can fulfill us. There is no reward, no amount of appreciation, no amount of money, and no one else that can fulfill us. The fulfillment comes from a deep connection within. And when we can connect to that, and there's a lot of misconceived ideas around how to do that, which actually can end up creating more lack of fulfillment and disconnect because we are escaping into the etheric realms and spiritual realms. So it's a very specific way we need to connect that's very embodied so that we can be in the world and yet not of the world. As Jesus, you may have heard, Jesus say, Yeshua has said. It's a very specific way that we need to connect with ourselves. Hey, Joanna, thank you. And this is what I have learned, and I have been mastering over the last, I would say, probably 20 years. Katerina, you're a professional escape artist, right? And we don't just escape through our spirituality. As you would know, we escape through, not just you, Katerina, I'm saying as people would know, through shopping, through addictions in so many different ways, whether it is food, whether it is relationships, whether it is our work. And you have to get to a point where your desire for something else is so great, or unfortunately the pain comes in enough and you go, you know what, I want to do something differently. And that's this transition I'm talking about. So whether I was lucky or not to have that at a very early age, I don't know. But as I said, because I was immature and ill-equipped for this journey of self-discovery at that time, it took me a very long time, until I was in my 30s really, to start really getting on the path. Because we can dabble in yoga, or I dabbled in Buddhism, I lived in a Buddhist center, I traveled, I did a lot of different things, but I wasn't embodying that in a practical spirituality way that was affecting my joy, my health, my prosperity in a positive way. And like I say, for the last 15 to 20 years, I have been working on mastering that and looking at the blueprint for how all women pretty much, and all people, but I work predominantly with women, need to connect with themselves, and the processes that are super, super powerful, physically, emotionally, energetically, that help us to connect deeply with ourselves so that we can live a life that shines a light not just for ourselves, but for everybody else, just through the power of our presence. So what if everything that you had already perceived to be true was perhaps not how it seemed? What if it was time to question everything? All your beliefs, all your ways of being, all the things you perceive to be true. What if actually it was so much easier than that? Because that's the crazy thing. It's actually pretty simple, this path to enlightenment, because we actually are already enlightened. It's just the veils of our mind and our experiences and what everyone else tells us veils us, right? Veils us from seeing the truth of who we really are. And this revelation, right, this enlightening, it's continuous. I've been doing this work, like say 15, 20 years. Katerina, a beautiful woman on here, was working with me quite a while ago. And things have evolved and continue to evolve. But there is a bit of a recipe, right, to this reclaiming, right, of the true nature of yourself. And there are some foundational tools. Now, I run a whole year Be a Beacon Mastery program, and some of my women have been with me for several years because of the up-leveling and the continuous enlightenment that they get through this work. Joe, you're feeling a real awakening at the moment. Yes, and Joe's actually just started with us, only a month ago, and already feeling this massive awakening and shift happening from seeing things differently. What we don't know, we don't know. So like I say, I run a whole year Be a Beacon Mastery program for women who are really looking for this spiritual and tangible and practical path, and a community to support them with, to just transform their life. Seriously, if you have been looking for a while and been picking up bits and pieces all over the place, and you're like, you know what, I'm a bits and pieces girl, I'm a bright shiny object girl. If you've been thinking that and you realizing you've been doing that and you're not really getting the traction that you deserve for the wisdom that you have, then something needs to change. Yeah, this is the path that I walk. I have gone from being a very confused teenager and 20-something and being a physio and working for that kind of dollar per hour income, to now running this, my own program that is super successful and making me multi-six figures per year. And I'm the most fulfilled, most joyful, most abundant, have the most amazing relationships I've ever had in my life, and my health is fantastic. So this is not something that's sort of fly by night. There is evidence and longevity behind this. And so I'm running a half day is what I wanted to share with you. This Friday, I am in Brisbane. We are pro-choice, so we will have a limited number of spaces. We have a few spaces left. I've popped the link in the comments here, so you are welcome to come and join us. And I will be sharing you in person, tangible, some of the key things that are part of this blueprint, that if you don't get these tangible foundational tools under your belt, then everything else you're doing is just not going to make the same impact. Believe me, you are going to learn something new, even if you've been on the personal and spiritual development path for a while, particularly if you have been on the personal spiritual development path for a while, because we can be kidding ourselves a little bit, right? And sometimes it's good to empty our bucket, go back to beginner's mind, and really go a little deeper. So if you are after radical change in your world, if you find yourself at this point of transition, you've got a choice to just carry on how you've always been doing, or to super up level and awaken every part of you for high level impact on every area of your life, then seriously consider creating space to join me Friday morning. It's only $47. You can bring a friend for free. We're in North Brisbane, super easy to get to at Soul Space. We would love to see you there. This could be the best thing you have done for yourself in a very, 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 very long time. Sending so much love to you, getting so much love back from these hearts popping up on the side. All right, gorgeous souls, have a great day. Mwah. Love to you. See you soon. Check it out. Links above.